Alright, today we're looking at lesson 11-2 on page 266, measuring and drawing angles. And we will be practicing this more in class because that's definitely something we need to do hands-on. But anyway, we're looking at how can you measure angles. Alright, angle FGH is written like this. Okay, you have an angle symbol and then you have three of the points from that angle. Here's F, G, and H. An angle is formed when two different rays have the same endpoint called the vertex. The two rays form the sides of the angle. So two different rays, here's one ray, okay, G, F, and G, H, okay, and here's the point they share called the vertex. And each ray is one side of the angle, this being the angle. So they say, well, what's the measure of angle FGH? Okay, look on page 267. This is actually how you're going to measure the angle. So first it says, place the protractor center on the angle's vertex, G. Okay, so there's usually a little center dot or hole in the protractor that you want to put on the vertex, and then line up the 0 mark on the protractor with one side of the angle. So here's a side GH here, and you want that lined up perfectly where the 0 is. Alright, I'm going to erase that so you can see that though. Alright, so line that up, and then it says read the angle measures. There are two measures on the protractor. Okay, so notice, see where this line goes up right here, and they have it circled here. One is 60 and one is 120. Use the same scale of measures that was used to line up the angle at 0. So if I look over here where we started, where does 0 start? Does it start on the outside where the next step is 170, or does it start on the inside where the next mark is 10? Well, it must start on the inside because we're not going to jump from 0 to 170. So the angle measurement will be this inside measurement of 60. So this would measure 60 degrees. Now this should make sense because does this look like an angle that would measure 120 degrees? No, because remember 90 degrees is that perfect here, right angle. Okay, let me erase this and make this a little bit easier to see. Okay, the 90-degree angle would be just like this. So anything that's smaller than that is going to be less than 90 degrees. So it makes sense that this angle measures 60 degrees right here. Okay. All right, look at another example on page 266. What are some different types of angles here? Angles can be classified by their measures, so you want to make sure you get these down. An acute angle, I always like to think of the word cute in there, and I think of something cute as maybe being small. So an acute angle measure is going to be between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. The right angle, of course, is a perfect 90-degree angle, and you always see that box to show that these two, if they were lines, but these two rays are perpendicular. An obtuse angle is an angle between 90 and 180 degrees. So it's going to be greater than 90, or it would be a right angle, but less than 180. And then a straight line, just like this, has exactly a measure of exactly 180 degrees. Think of it as two 90-degree angles back to back, and you add them together, and you get 180 degrees. So you need to know those terms. Alright, look down at how can you draw an angle with a given measure. Say you're asked to draw an obtuse angle with a measure of 100 degrees. Okay, so your first step is going to be to draw a ray, like DW. Then you're going to place your protractor over it and line up that ray onto 0. Okay, and if it's pointing this way to the right, we're going to look at this inside number to find and move up until you find 100 degrees, which is right here. Okay, you're going to mark it and then take your protractor off, and you're going to connect the dots here from D to G and you're going to label this 100 degrees. We will practice this in class. Let's look at the next page. All right, look at the guided practice on page 267. You're going to do all of that 1 through 6. 1 and 2 want you to measure the angle and then classify each angle as acute, right, obtuse, or straight. You might have to extend the lines lightly with the pencil to get the correct measurement, and you can do that. Just don't mark all over the paper. Here they want you to draw these angles, so try and draw 153 degree angle and a 30 degree angle, just like the example before. And we'll practice, like I said, again in class. And then answers questions 5 and 6. Come to class with a question, and I will see you tomorrow.